Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S. here, back with another video. I was going to do this three-part video tomorrow, but I decided to do it a bit earlier, or at least some of it a bit earlier, because I'm a bit impatient. So I thought, because I'm so keen on the idea, I thought I'd do it a bit early. But anyway, I think I was going to say something, I can't quite remember. Anyway, yeah. So this is basically who I think should support Celtic and reasons why I think they should do so, in my opinion. As ever, I hope you enjoy it. And the intro, I can't think of anything else to say, so I'm going to crack on with my list. I've been thinking through a little bit. So anyway, hope you enjoy it as ever. And as ever, please leave any thoughts you have in the comments section, whether you agree with me or disagree with me or whatever you think. Hopefully, you won't be too rude, but obviously, as I often say, it's free speech, so you can write whatever you want. But yeah, obviously, I prefer polite comments, but please feel free to write whatever you want. Anyway, here goes. So, number one, the first group I'm going to talk about, which I think should support Celtic, are Eurasian nations. That's your countries between, for those who may not know, that's countries between Europe and Asia. Like Turkey is a prime example. I think Russia might be in Eurasia, but I'm not 100% sure. I think Kazakhstan and places like that are in Eurasia. But yeah, so I'd love them to unite together, but also like to support Celtic, and like, because I'm part European and part Asian, like my ancestry is part European and part Asian as far as I know, and I'm an Anglo-Indian, so I'd love for Anglo-Indians to support Eurasia as well as Italian football and Celtic. But yeah, so I'd love for Eurasians to support Italian football and Celtic if I could convince them to do so. So that's number one. Number two, I include these two groups differently or separately, but they're really technically Eurasian nations are pretty much part of this group, which is transcontinental countries generally. And transcontinental means countries that are in more than one continent. Obviously, I don't think there's any more that are in more than two, but some countries are in obviously two continents, which, like I say, like Eurasian nations like Turkey is part in Europe, but mostly in Asia, I think, and Russia, I think, as well, and one or two other countries. So transcontinental could be like, I think Egypt is transcontinental. It's part between part between Africa and Asia. It's the only transcontinental country between between Africa and Asia. Sorry, and there are probably a few in the Americas between North and South America and things like that, or Central America or whatever. Not sure how many transcontinental countries there are in the world, but I think it'd be interesting to find out. But yeah, I hope they will support Celtic as well. Number three, obviously whoever wants to support Celtic, but I'd love to encourage more people around the world to support Celtic, and especially from the Middle East as well. That's another group I would love to support Celtic. Mainly, I suppose I'm mainly including countries, but in some ways backgrounds as well. But yeah, people from Middle Eastern countries, like Arabic, I think Middle Eastern, kind of, most of them are Arabic. But yeah, so and number four would be Mediterranean countries like Italy, which I hope to come to, Spain, Portugal, France, and the rest of the Med, including the Arab countries, even Cyprus, Greece, and Turkey, which I've already mentioned, I believe, and whatever other countries are in the Med. I'd love for them to support Celtic, and also so that's the group what I call another group what I call the Four, and also the original or initial group I call the Four, which are Africa, indigenous people from Africa, Australasia, the Americas, and Asia. So both of those groups of what I call the Four, or the other Four, or alternative Four. I love them all to support Celtic, as well as like pacifists, conscientious objectors, and anti-imperialists, which I hope to come to as well in more details. But yeah, so because Rangers, our main rivals, are pro-Union, pro-British, they say Britannia rules waves and things like that, and also they support military and things like that. And I suppose, yeah, invasion of other countries and things like that, I suppose you could say. Number five, again, I'd love to encourage as many people as possible to support Celtic, which would be, I mean, if you count what I call the Four, there's billions of people. Like in Africa, there's about 1 billion people, which I mentioned before. Australasia, the indigenous people from Australasia wouldn't be that many, but it would still be great to see them support Celtic, see and hear about them supporting Celtic, and also people from the Americas, indigenous people from the Americas, but even other groups like Latin groups, and others which I hope to come to. But yeah, that would be an Asia, which has about 4 billion people. So that would be, to have that many fans would make Celtic probably the most supported club in the world. Well, pretty much, unless Italian clubs could also get those sorts of fans. Celtic would be the most supported, certainly the most supported individual club, because Man United have about 350 million. But if Celtic could get over 1 billion, we would be, I'll say we as a fan, would be the most supported club in the world. And hopefully that would help the brand value and be able to buy better players and things like that. But those groups could also unite behind Celtic and that sort of thing, which and that could encourage them to unite together more as well. Number 6, as I've talked before about, I'd love to form a partnership between Serie A or Italian football and Celtic, where they train together. I know there's already the Italian Celts, but I thought of ideas like Forza Celtic, which means like it's Latin for like go, oh come on Celtic or whatever, and Calcio Celtic or Celtic Calcio, and Calcio's Italian for football or kick. But yeah, so I'd love to form a partnership or relationship, or you call it, between Italian football and Celtic, where they train together and support each other, support each other's teams, like Celtic supporting Italian teams and vice versa, and especially at youth level, practicing together, excuse me, and that sort of thing. So I'd love to expand the relationship. Coincidentally, both are Catholic, but I'm not Catholic myself. But I'm even thinking of a video. I should be careful what I say, perhaps again, but I'm even thinking of a video of talking about why I support Celtic, even though I don't know if a bull is the wrong word, but even though I think Catholicism, is a corrupted version, in my opinion, of Christianity. Like, I think they do things that are probably not that biblical or even corrupt. But anyway, I don't want to offend anyone, but I should be careful what I say. But I still support Celtic, even though they're Catholic, because I don't know. I'll probably go into that in more detail in that video. But yeah, about how Rangers are pro-union, pro-military, pro-royal family, and that sort of things. Those sorts of things are things I'm against. But anyway, yeah. So number 7, this is one I couldn't really think of, but yeah, I'd love for all those possible groups, and hopefully God himself will support Celtic. Support Celtic in some way himself, or as many ways as possible, I hope. Number 8, people of colour, POC for short, as I often say, and even non-WASPs, non-white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, because I think Rangers are I'm not saying all Rangers fans are racist or whatever, but I think a lot of them do have links to white supremacists or neo-Nazi or far-right groups. And again, that's one reason why I support Celtic, as well as being an anti-imperialist as well. Sorry for repeating myself. So people of colour and non-WASPs, and also and that sort of thing. Number 9, groups like Antifa as well, and all that sort of thing, perhaps. Number 9, also BAME, black and ethnic minority, or POC, people of colour, those sorts of groups as well. And number 9, I'd love to make artists for Celtic, writers for Celtic, poets for Celtic, and things like that. And number 10, again, as many people as possible all around the world, especially charities or people who are charitable, for all the work Celtic does for charity. I'd love to see Celtic be supported all over the world and have billions of fans. So as ever, I'd love to know what you think, even if you're a fan of the rival team and you want to leave hate mail, if you want to, please comment as you see fit. Anyway, I'm out. Peace and love.